What if All Might was Izuku's dad? Part 1. Now, Izuku was no secret to the world. All Might was the number one hero, or is. So, when Inko had Izuku, it was basically no secret. Everybody was talking about how powerful this kid was going to be. They kept saying that this kid was probably going to become the greatest hero, as his dad was All Might and his mom was the number 2 hero, a telekinesis user basically. So with a enhancement quirk and a telekinesis, they're saying it could be a very strong telekinesis. So Izuku lived a life of luxury basically. After Izuku kept living this life until the age of 4, where he is announced as quirkless, meaning he does not have a power. Now, All Might and Inko tried to keep this a secret from most people, but it ended up getting out as Izuku was shamed, and so was All Might and Inko for having a supposed useless child. So, after this, All Might told Izuku that he wanted to train him because he saw how much Izuku wanted to become a hero. So, he started to train Izuku for 3 years, making Izuku now 7. This is where All Might gives Izuku One for All. Now, if you guys do remember, All Might at the start of My Hero Academia Izuku was 15, and 5 years ago would have been the attack of All for One, and their fights where All Might got injured. But I'm moving this back 2 years. So, All Might ends up getting in a fight while on vacation with Inko and Izuku with All for One. This causes Izuku to be blown back and get smashed into a tree. All for One sorry about that interruption. All for One seeing Izuku as a weak point to All Might, runs up to him and grabs Izuku and makes his hand into a blade. This is where All for One lifts Izuku up and stabs him right through the chest, basically like how Crocodile did to Luffy on, I believe, episode 112 of One Piece. Now, that's exactly what happens here to Izuku, who is 8 years old. Izuku then gets thrown into a river, hitting his head again on a tree, then a rock, before going into a very fast-paced river. However, Inko tried to go find Izuku, but was stopped by All for One, smashing her in the head, knocking her out as well. Now this leaves All Might, who gets injured, but supposedly defeats All for One, even though he didn't. Now, with Izuku, he is traveling down a river that is moving very fast. Something spots him as it goes to look closer at this child in a moving river. This creature that spots Izuku would be a wolf. It gets Izuku out of the river as the unconscious Izuku somehow has now wolf ears, a wolf tail, and canine teeth, as Izuku got his quirk. Even though the doctor said he was quirkless, he was trying to hide the fact that Izuku had a very powerful quirk, which is a wolf quirk that usually awakens once the user has contact with a wolf. Now, after this, Izuku starts to wake up, not knowing where he is. He gets up, completely forgetting everything he's done besides training. And now he has a wolf friend with him. This is where Izuku starts to supposedly build a house or hut out of dirt, leaves, and trees, with the wolf living by his side. Izuku basically is like the alpha wolf, as the quirk makes him stronger than every single wolf. One for All is basically dormant inside of Izuku. Since he forgot pretty much everything, he also forgot about One for All, and he forgot how to use it. So, since he forgot how to use it, now he just has his wolf quirk. Now, a year later, after Izuku and this wolf, who may or may not be immortal, just like Izuku, just saying that, I might forget that, so don't hold on to that. But Izuku ends up figuring out somehow how to make blades out of iron. Basically like Inosuke, he uses that type of blade as he now dual wields swords. He's not going to have a breathing technique, so don't expect me to do that, as Izuku continues training and using these blades. Now, time skip to where Izuku's 15. He doesn't know that, but he's figured out how to talk. Somehow. But he can also pretty much speak wolf. He has a wolf quirk, pretty much. So Izuku ends up somehow making his way onto the UA campus. This causes the alarms to go off, with Izuku and his wolf looking around like, what is this strange noise? They don't know what the city life is, so they're not really sure what's going on. So they rush down to see this kid with wolf ears and a wolf tail, and a wolf just looking around with the kid having two swords out in a fighting position, wondering what's about to happen. Now, this is the point where Aizawa runs out and also gets into a fighting position as Izuku yells at them, "You, what is that strange noise?" As everyone just sweat drops by this and says, "It's a siren. Do you not know what that is?" Izuku just says, "What's a siren?" as everyone's just questioning what's happening. As Izuku looks at Aizawa and says, will you give me a good fight?" Now, this is basically like Inosuke's personality. It's not going to be like that all the time. Now, Aizawa just gets in a fighting position as Izuku has his two swords out and charges at Aizawa, as Aizawa uses his capture gear to try to wrap around Izuku. Izuku just slashes down on them as he puts his blades into an X motion and slices down, basically using wind pressure from his immense strength from his wolf quirk, as it blows Aizawa into a wall, effectively knocking him out. Now, Izuku looks at everyone else and proceeds to knock the rest of them out, thinking that was just a part of his fight. Now, this is the point where Nezu comes out and says, "Would you like to join UA? You seem like you're 15. Izuku, obviously confused, doesn't know what's happening, but just goes along with it, saying that he wants a good fight. Now, after this, they ask him what his name was. He just says that he thinks his name was Izuku, and that's pretty much all he can remember, as he just woke up in a forest with a wolf. Now, this is where Nezu realizes that name. It's so familiar. He calls All Might and the detective. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I'm not even going to try. All Might comes down and says, and Nezu says to him, "Do you happen to know a kid named Izuku?" All Might just looks on in shock and says, "Yes, that's my son that went missing. Let me see, 7 years ago." Nezu just points to Izuku as All Might looks up and says, "Yes, that looks exactly like him, just aged up, but he was quirkless. How does he have a wolf quirk?" Nezu thinks for a moment and says, "Unless the doctor was lying to you about him being quirkless." Remember, Nezu's IQ is very high. So Nezu asks Izuku, does he remember who All Might is? Izuku just looks at him like, "Who? Is he here to fight me or something?" They just look at him like he's they just look at him with a pitiful look as they say, no, he's your father. Zuko just thinks a moment, and just says, what's that? Now, they just look at him again with a pitiful look and proceed to explain that. The next 2 weeks were Izuku supposedly studying and training to just try to get on the level of the high schoolers, or Class 1A. But Izuku ends up getting on the level of a 4th grader. That's how high he got in 2 weeks, which I think is pretty good. And basically that was just him remembering all the stuff he did up until, I think he was 8, right? So then he'd be in 2nd grade. So that's okay. He went through the first 3 pretty quickly. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. What if Deku was All Might, or what if All Might was Izuku's father? See ya, guys. Bye.